show, people. Thank you for tuning in to Heavenly Sent People. My guest here is Tyrone Muhammad. He's no stranger to you guys. He allowed me to come on his show, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I appreciate that. And thank you for, returning the favor, coming on mine. You are definitely someone that people need to know. I mean, I've been following you for quite some time behind the scenes. I like what you're doing for the people, and I like what you're standing for. And it's, it's just amazing to see African American man out there that's providing a platform and that's paving the way and showing us, how things should be done in decent and order. So I know you got your organization is ECCSC.
Yes.
Would you be so kind and tell us what that means?
Yes, well, thank you, Cynthia, for having me on. I'm happy to be here, especially when we're dealing with youth and children, period. That's why I do what I do. The name of my organization is Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change, ECCSC. And it is what it is. I didn't want to hide. I didn't want to sugarcoat, because in my mind, we're not returning citizens.
Okay.
So, and that denotes, ex-cons denote I've been incarcerated before.
Okay.
But whether I was incarcerated or not, I still feel like a convict in my neighborhood, in my communities.
Wow.
And what I mean by that is that most people are in prison in their own space, the location, on their own blocks, their own cliques, their own crews. And whether you go to prison or not, I believe that as citizens in this city, we've been incarcerated in our own communities, and you can you can go from top to bottom on what that looked like. So, Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change is an organization that I established while incarcerated after serving 21 years of prison, watching the brothers and sisters in the recidivism just never being reduced, just constantly dealing with these young men coming in prison with 20, 30, 40, 50 years of life. And myself and a group of individuals, we decided that we was no longer going to wait on legislators, benevolent white men and folks, and politicians and pastors to save us. We said, who best know what we've been through than those who have served prison time, and who best qualified to help reduce violence as well as recidivism than the men who serve prison time.
And see, I think that's what sets you apart from other people that are out there, on the front lines. Because as you just mentioned, as opposed to you waiting on somebody else to do something for you, you guys are out there, doing what's necessary. I mean, I've seen you in, lots of places. And I commend you for the things you do, because, it takes, like you said, what better person than to show people what's really going on or be put in place than somebody that had already served it. So, so what exactly, outside of what you guys stand for, what type of things do you guys do?
Okay, initially when the inception came to start an organization like this, we thought that we would just deal with a lot of mentoring.
Okay.
Right? Mentorship. And substance abuse counseling, social service type stuff. But after arriving, coming home to the madness that is violence.
Wow.
A bulk of everything that I do or been able to do has been geared towards de-escalation, violence prevention. And that's not the space we want to be in. If that's the space we're in, that means we're losing.
Okay.
I want to be in a place where I'm able to mentor young men ages 8 to 24 or 27, because we're still learning even at 27 and 30 even. But what I'm saying is that's what we stand for: violence prevention, conflict resolution, manhood training, behavior modification techniques for our young men, just anger management, substance abuse counseling, and social service. That means I've been able to put over 150 guys to work since I've been home.
Bless your heart.
I'm talking about in nearly 3 years.
And you see, that's another thing.
With no resources, people. Not them. Not only the resources we have are the resources we create ourselves. No one is calling me and saying, Tyrone Muhammad, give me 5 guys to work. It's based on our grit and our effort.
And see, that's why I named my show Heavenly Sent People, because I never thought that we'd be sitting across the table, even, collaborating on some things. Like I told you earlier, I deal with youth. And so I play basketball with a group of boys once a week. And, it's maybe 10 of them.
A black woman playing basketball with
every
a
week.
Group of boys with minimal or no male presence, right?
Exactly. And so, just as I'm playing with them, of course, I've built relationships with them, and I realize that a lot of them, are angry, and when they come in there and play, they play giving it they all, and so sometimes I'll even sit back and just pretty much sit back and watch them play, because I realize that that's their livelihood, and it's a possibility that we can be saving some of their lives by them just coming in for this 1 hour, 2 hour and playing. And so I'd appreciate if you come in with us and talk to some of the boys. It's one boy.
You're there tomorrow, Wednesday.
Tomorrow Wednesday.
She's there tomorrow. And anybody out there that deal with me and know me as a black man, my goal is to be there tomorrow with her, so I can get and ascertain what's going on with those young men that she have in that Sherman Park.
Yeah.
In the park. And if you want to come out, man, please come out. Give me a call, and we can roll on them. I got about 4 or 5 guys I plan to bring with me to assist
Bless your
you.
heart.
So,
like they said, each one teach one. Iron sharpens iron. And so it's funny because I thought about something you said to me when I was on your show.
Yeah.
You made mention of me being a female presence to my son. And you asked about, a male role model. And it's crazy because I've been looking for that type of mentorship. But, in today's age, you got to be
very
mindful
careful
of who you allow your kids with. And so, I definitely, want to, whatever you're doing with you, definitely want to put my son in. He's a humble kid. And,
no doubt.
He, at the end of the day, like you said, there's only so much I can do in a little circle around
And that's the problem. Women like you are struggling, doing what you all can, fighting hard, fighting the good fight. Here you are taking on other people's children.
Exactly.
And what I want to say to you is that there's help coming.
I appreciate that.
We got with the ECCSE Vanguard headed up by April Patterson.
Okay.
So we building, so we'll be able to link those women together. Then you all will be able to identify where it's 7 guys, young men over here, it's 3 young men over here who at risk. We need to link them with, and that's why that'll give us a vetting process.
Okay.
By which to then entrust your child, your son, over to guys like myself.
And that's what it's about.
And that's what it takes.
Indeed,
It
that's
takes
what it's
other
about.
women to solidify and get that thing moving. It's about y'all anyway.
And it's and the gym. There's a officer that oversees the gym who's a friend of mine, and
met her.
she's doing a good job. She's doing a phenomenal job. She also has a youth program. I think hers is called Love Teaching Youth. And so to collaborate with her, and it pretty much broadens my horizon, because for the most part I deal with the smaller kids, and so now with her I'm around older boys, and now I'm able to really see from my son's age up until what the guy's facing. It's like there's no male presence. And then even after the gym, she talked to some of the guys, and a lot of them be like, I'm angry. And I'm like, angry? And they, they be like, you don't understand. And I can just only imagine, what they going through, in the household or, in the streets. It's rough. And so for her to be able to give them outlet to whereas they can pretty much be at peace, it's like, it's
when
awesome.
I hear that type of stuff, although it's not my fault, I take a personal offense to that. It's like we're wondering why young men are killing young men. And here we are, you have a gym full of young men that's angry, that has no direction, and no one is gearing them towards mentors that can actually help them and deal with that anger, to manage their anger. And it makes no sense, and it's a failure on our legislators and our local politicians that in their wards these young men exist.
That's true.
And the only thing they seem to have for these young men are prisons and graveyards.
And so, and that's so true, because I often say, we see the kids out here, everybody, they're menace, but you have to, as you mentioned earlier, you said, what's the background? Like,
Right.
what's the upbringing? And
What's
so,
the upbringing?
kids act out according to what they've been through, what they've seen. So you can't expect a kid that has no parents in their life, no set place to stay, no guidance. You can't expect this kid to just come out and be like, "Hey, I won't help." Like you said, these kids are angry, because of what they have to endure every day, and I can't imagine it. And so my heart goes out to.
We don't know that. We don't know their home situation. You cannot assess a child by looking at a child. You have to have the child convey some things to you and trust you.
Wow.
And children don't just give their trust freely. We teach them stranger danger.
Exactly. You're right. You're right.
So now you asking them, after they've been through all the things they've gone through, all the things they've gone through as a minor, as a youth, then we asking them now to open up as a young man or young woman. They have bottled up so much pain and hurt.
That's true.
And probably abuse.
Absolutely.
That they don't want to talk about.
Indeed.
So now you have to put the right people in front of them that then open their minds and their hearts up to trust.
I see you got a book over there. What's to that? What is that?
This is my book. I wrote this in prison. It's called Men on the Inside. Observations of Deviance, Prison 13 Character Types. So during my course of my 2 decades of serving time, I was able to observe.
Wow.
Because that's what I do anyway. I'm almost like a sociologist in nature.
I hear you talk.
So I observe those various character types. Everybody is a type. You're a type. I'm a type. That's why people are talking about, what's your zodiac sign? Because your zodiac sign kind of give you an indication, although not necessarily.
So you believe in astrology?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm an Aquarius,
Okay.
and my birthday was February 14th. And then when you look at some of the aspects, I love water.
Okay.
I like to hear the water. I can leave the water on and not even know it's on because I forgot. I just don't even
you
understand.
got immune to it.
Right. It's just something it does to my So in that case, mine would probably be correct. Okay. So, but no, this book, I wrote this while in prison. It's called, like I say, Men on the Inside.
Is it online? Can you buy it online?
Yeah, you get lulu.com,
Okay.
lulu.com, and it talks about the various 13 character type, even the officers they're part of a type as well.
Oh, wow.
Because it takes a certain type of officer to be over a prison.
I agree.
Believe me.
I agree.
So in understanding that, it's like, man, listen, you in prison too. You just not there 24 hours. You there 8 hours. Deep. Or they do double shifts. You there 16 hours. But at the end of the day, you have to deal with the same madness and the that is the prison industrial complex. You work in it. You help maintain it. You help subjugate the subject and subjugate the inmates. So so it talks about all the character types.
How much is it?
That's $15 online, lulu.com. So that's Tyrone Muhammad. But she'll post it. I send her a link, and then she can post it for the people that's interested in reading it. It will really inform you about what's going on in prisons, and it inform you about all the ills and the things that your loved ones or the people that you know that might have people incarcerated go through, or the transformation that can take place as a result of being in that place.
So I was looking online, and I think you have something coming up. Is it the City Hall building or some type of panel discussion that you're involved in?
Oh, yeah. We that's LaShawn Rep.
See, I did my
Ford.
research.
Yeah. He's doing something. I don't recall a date off my head, but also we have the Southside Workforce Development Federation. That's our organization of developers, laborers, community, and we have elected officials come. And we've been building it.
Oh, wow.
Now. Is hopefully it'll be even bigger this week. This is our second meeting.
Okay.
So we putting in systems to try to put I'm not gonna use the word try, put the people to work. Okay. Create businesses. That's what it's about. And collaborations that allow us to develop and build our own communities.
Wow.
And they building $56 billion worth of cranes downtown going up. and none of that trickles down in our neighborhood. And then you got outsiders who come in our neighborhood and develop our community.
That's true.
And we not the ones developing it. So how can you have pride in something and ownership in something that you haven't had a hand in building or developing
I like that.
or designing it? So when a young man put a tree in the hole, he's not gonna be found cutting that tree. He gonna be found like watching that tree grow.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's like a pride that you give yourself.
Exactly.
So we got to reorientate the thinking of even adults and elders, because those community stores, those buildings, those businesses was allowed to be in there, not by these children, but by these old people that's stuck in their ways, that haven't understood that we have to have ownership, and we reject anything that don't look like our community in terms of business.
Wow. So I didn't know earlier. I mean, we spoke earlier, and you told me that you've employed. How many did you say?
I employ over 15 people, but I mean, personally for my T2 staffing company. So I have a staffing company that, I don't talk much about none of that. I'm moving, and then when people find out about my construction and development company, my staffing company, my finishing cabinet company, transportation service. So I'm building stuff. I'm putting it together. You create the business. You build out, and then you introduce.
So you're definitely setting an example. You're not only
man.
on the forefront, but you behind the scenes creating opportunities for the people that you're fighting for.
And we looking for, it's always us. That's why I'm interested in making sure I build out a school for women to learn nails and hair. We're looking for the perfect location for that. And we want to do the nail shops and everything. So hopefully we can increase pride in our women where they would shop and support their own. And it would be only right.
Wow. So, did you have anything else? I mean, how about this? How can they find you?
Well, listen, people, those who know me, Tyrone Muhammad, Facebook, on Tyrone Muhammad on all the social media platform, Instagram, Twitter. But my organization, ECCSC.org. You can find me as ECCSC.org. Or Tyrone, email me, TyroneMuhammad17@gmail.com. That's MUHAMMAD. And everybody knows to call Tyrone, so y'all should know how to spell that already. But yeah.
So you got a lot going on.
Yes.
So do you have a team? I'm sure you've got a team.
Yeah.
A team of people that's supporting you.
Yeah, I got great, but none greater than the women that support me.
Bless your heart.
The women are the vanguard. They are the anchors. And hopefully, as we start building out our model and building out the platform, I can actually hire and vet the right guys that's actually in it for the right reason. I don't want to be in a position where now that I'm moving and guys see me moving, they coming in.
You already know.
And then that's when I don't really want those type of guys to assist us. I want people on the team that love what they do, that love our community, that die and will fight for our women and our children. And that's business minded and unselfish about the development that needs to take place in our communities in order for us to be men. If men are not developing their community, if men are not protecting their women, if men are not training their children in the way that they should go, we got a bad state. We're in a bad, serious state of emergency.
So moving forward, what kind of projects you got that you're working on, or projects that you're foreseeing?
My main goal is to build out my mentor program.
That's awesome.
Right now, because if I'm always dealing with the at-risk guys, the at-risk youth, the violence, what about the young children like your son?
Correct.
Who tend not to get the help they need. You know why? Because they not acting out.
Exactly.
But what happens is those children end up acting out.
I was just going to say that. You're right.
They end up acting out because
the attention is diverted
we divert all
so
the money and resources on these children. But here's the gems we leaving out there to be to leaving them astray. So that's my goal over the next 2-3 months, to make sure I got the right board, because I want the right board of directors, because we have to go after the right funding.
Wow.
So that we can then serve, and buy buses and vans and establish through our Vanguard connection with all the women that have boys and have girls, that we can actually have an impact in their life, even if it's just an hour out of a week. If it's an hour out of the week, an hour out of the month, that they can see Mr. Muhammad, and I can give them impart some values in that young man and be an example, or even come to a daddy-daughter dance that
awesome.
don't have a father, and you get the trust of the parents enough where you can actually be, stand in the place of a pops or something that's incarcerated. And I also want my transportation service, when I kick it off, to be geared towards connecting the fathers that's incarcerated with their children and their loved ones, meaning creating the free transportation that gets them to them correctional facilities. So that is, it's a lot, but the main thing is to build my base out and get my center going. I'm looking for the center. I got 2 centers that I'm eyeing, and hopefully within the next 2-3 months I have my center. Then we'll do the rehab and build it out to do all those services.
Wow. And this ain't nothing but confirmation, because anybody know that I always wanted to start a transportation company.
Wow.
And to take, like you just said, to take families to visit their loved one in jails.
Wow.
Because,
See?
there's no buses, and, a lot of people can't really afford to get down there in a timely fashion. And so, yeah, I've been working on this behind the scenes. And also, I wanted to have I have this vision of having this, not even a community center, just a little small space to whereas I can have a safe haven for kids where they can play video games, they can come do their homework.
I'm going to build it, you can come. No free pastors without charging her. I'm just telling you, I'm going to build it, and it's available. If it's available, it's yours. I don't, and you don't have to pay a mortgage, a lease, or rent, or nothing on it. I'm just saying, that's what time it is.
Because families, I sit and think, I'm fortunate enough to have my son go to a park district, and, I think about some other kids who can't afford it. The park district is expensive.
Spaces is real.
And it's like, what do you expect these kids to do? Right. The parents at work trying to work a job, father's pretty much not in their lives, and you got the 10-year-old babysitting the 4-year-old while the mom work. I mean, it's only so much we can do, and so therefore, guess what? The next thing the kids gonna do is they're gonna go outside and find some trouble to get into.
We have a park district that don't serve our community. I'm telling you, we have a park district that has resources that are not useful, that are not being properly utilized to the people like yourself, grassroots individuals who taking these young men 18 and older, and you creating a space for them to have ball and open it with the sister that's the police officer.
Correct.
I mean, that is so sad to me. That is always you all as women on the front line of this type of stuff. And then yet we have judgment about why our children fall into the condition that they fall in.
You're so right.
I'm just tired of the hypocrisy. Don't get on Facebook or Facebook or whatever it is that you want to, get on to convey your sentiment. If you're never there,
that's true.
Here you are. And you well?
You're right.
Where you going tomorrow, Ed?
Oh, so tomorrow I'm taking some youth. Saturday. It's 100 black men in white coats.
Yes.
And what it is they're doing like a summit for individual or for males that want to be in the healthcare, more so the younger generation, because as we all know, you go to the doctor, you don't see black doctors, and so I'm so grateful to be able to have my kids a part of that. Tyrone, I really appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule. I'm so happy that we connected. Do you want to give a shout out to someone before we hang up?
ECCSC Vanguard, thank you women for being on the front line. We coming, we just slow. Y'all just forgive us. We'll catch up, but y'all keep doing what y'all doing. ECCSC.org.
I want to thank Han TV for giving us this opportunity, and see you guys next week.